Imagine you're a World War II pilot. Your plane is shot down over the Russian wilderness, and you fall 100 feet to the ground. Somehow, you wake up. You can't move your legs, your head is throbbing, it's pitch black out, temperatures are sub-zero, and you have nothing but a knife. Would you survive? If you're Aleksey Maryesov, you have no other choice but to survive. Aleksey Maryesov was born on May 20th, 1916, near the city of Compliactions, along the banks of the Volga River, just before the Bolshevik Revolution. He was one of 4 children born into a peasant family, and was considered the weakest of the bunch. Aleksey had quite a few run-ins with malaria throughout his early life. He also suffered from severe joint pain growing up, and often had to be carried during his 4-kilometer walk to and from school by his older brother. After attending several aviation meetings as a young man, Aleksey knew he wanted to become a pilot and joined the Komsomol, a youth political organization, in his teens. He wanted to become a pilot right away, but due to the state of his health, he was turned down. Later on, Aleksey was offered the opportunity to move to eastern Russia to help construct the city of Komsomol-on-Amur. At first he refused, but was later convinced by his doctor that the colder weather may improve his health, and that taking this opportunity may give him a shot at becoming a pilot. So, Aleksey obliged and headed to East Russia. After moving, Aleksey's health improved, but it was there that he faced the harshest conditions of his life thus far. Sub-zero temperatures, frostbite, and intense blizzards were all daily occurrences. And what's fascinating is that Aleksey was only 15 or 16 at the time, and the craziest part of his life hadn't even begun. In 1937, he joined the Red Army as a Border Patrol aviation technician. Aleksey always said it sounded more glorious than it was, and that all he did was, quote, put the tail of the plane into proper parking position. A year and a half later, he was sent to pilot school in the city of Bataisk in South Russia, and in 1940, he finally earned his wings and officially became a pilot as part of the 296th IAP Aviation Division, just before Russia entered World War II the following year. Aleksey's first mission began in August of 1941, and his plane of choice, possibly the only choice at the time, was a Polikarpov I-16 airplane, which looks like this. This plane was definitely inferior to the German planes at the time. Oftentimes, Russian pilots struggled to fight against German forces. But in March of 1942, Aleksey began piloting the Yak-1, which looks like this. In his first month of piloting this plane in battle, he was able to gun down 4 German Air Force planes. Most World War II pilots were lucky to have 4 confirmed kills in their entire career, let alone 4 in less than a month. At this point, I can only imagine how Aleksey felt. He must have felt on top of the world. He had accomplished his goals in becoming a pilot and bravely serving his country, beating all the odds against him. However, the darkest time in Aleksey's life was just around the corner. On the 5th of April 1942, Aleksey and his fellow comrades began patrolling Russia's Novgorod area. They were heading toward German-occupied territory when 4 German airmen suddenly surrounded Aleksey in what author Boris Pelovoy called double pincers. One airman was in front, another behind, one to the left, and the other to the right. German airmen often did this if they wanted to capture an airplane and force it to land at a German airbase and take the pilot as prisoner. Aleksey knew exactly what they were doing and tried to strafe his way in and out, but the Germans shot at his plane. He had no choice though. It was either find a way out or be captured by the Germans. So Aleksey forced his plane into a nosedive, and his engine was immediately shot by German forces. Realizing this, he tried to use his landing gear, but it was torn to pieces by trees below. Aleksey was ejected from the plane and fell 30 meters to the ground. Somehow, he was still alive. His legs were crushed and he suffered a severe concussion and was hallucinating. And this is where the legend of Aleksey Maryesov begins. Aleksey went full-on Leonardo DiCaprio in the taiga. Despite having crushed legs and a severe head injury, he crawled for 18 days with nothing more than a knife and a few other small items. He ate tree bark, berries, and even pine cones, and drank whatever water he could find from streams and even ate snow, all while having no use of his legs and enduring sub-zero temperatures. He crawled for several kilometers and was eventually found by this man, Mikhail Vigrova, just outside of Plov village. Mikhail and his family cared for him as best they could, and eventually, the Russian military rescued him and took him to a hospital in Moscow. By this time, gangrene and severe frostbite had set in on Aleksey's legs. At first, doctors thought his legs would be fine, but unfortunately, Aleksey's legs were eventually removed with just a pair of scissors. Now, I fully believe that most soldiers facing a situation like this would just accept that their military career is over. They would retire from the military, accept their pension, and live their life as best they can. But not Aleksey. Aleksey spent 6 months learning how to walk with prosthetic legs and fought relentlessly to rejoin the army as a pilot. Eventually, he was granted his wish and spent months in flight school once again. In June of 1943, he flew his first mission as part of the 63rd Squadron and downed 3 more German planes. As far as I'm concerned, the dude was a complete badass. Shortly after, on August 24th of that year, Maryesov was awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union and the Gold Star Awards. In total, Aleksey Maryesov flew 86 combat missions and ended his career with 11 confirmed kills. After the war, Aleksey went on to support veterans and raise awareness for disabled veterans as well. He also has a book written about him titled A Story About a Real Man by Boris Pelovoy, who I've already mentioned. Several movies, one of which with the same name as the book, that came out in 1948. The movie The Pilot that came out recently, directed by Renat Davletarov, that stars Pyotr Fyodorov. There's also a documentary named Skybound and an opera that was made as well. Obviously, after retiring from the war, Aleksey was seen as a hero back in Russia. With that said though, Aleksey never really enjoyed the limelight. He felt that he was just doing his job and that, quote, "there's nothing extraordinary in what I did. The fact that I've been turned into a legend irritates me." On May 18th, 2001, Aleksey was asked to attend a ceremony, and there his birthday would be celebrated 2 days early. However, just hours before the ceremony, Aleksey felt a pinch in his chest. He laid down in his bed, and sadly, he suffered a heart attack just minutes before being honored. Aleksey Maryesov was only 84 years old. Aleksey Maryesov is still considered a legend among the Russian community and even inspired other Russian soldiers such as Yuri Kozlovsky and Sergei Sokolov, who both suffered leg injuries similar to him in war. Aleksey Maryesov, without a doubt, is the epitome of grit and determination that goes above and beyond human comprehension. I, for one, felt inspired after learning about him, and it has been a great pleasure sharing his story. I hope you all feel the same way and continue to find inspiration in people from all walks of life. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. My name is TJ, and we'll see you in the next one.